What is your greatest weakness? Many find this question pointless, and it is for sure the most disliked job interview question. It's completely understandable that no candidate would want to confess their biggest flaws during the interview process. Recruiters and hiring managers are completely aware of it. You might not even realize it, but just the way you respond to this question already gives a lot of information about you. Which is why this question doesn't go away. Companies keep asking, what are your weaknesses? And the vast majority of the job seekers are not approaching this question correctly. I'm Marat from EMMOTION, and if you are not subscribed to my channel yet, then definitely hit the subscribe and enable the notification bell so you won't miss out on my weekly professional growth content. Also, thumb up this video if you feel it's been useful. Nearly everyone needs help with the weaknesses question, so in this video I will show you how to structure what is your greatest weakness response in a few easy steps. And stick with me till the end, where I also share brand new sample answers of greatest weaknesses, which will be helpful to you while coming up with your own response. What are your greatest weaknesses, or what are your biggest weaknesses can also be asked in many ways. What are your most important development areas? What would your manager or colleagues describe as your biggest weakness if I speak to them? Which tasks or duties do you struggle with the most? Is there a skill set of yours which you feel still needs work? Tell me about a self-development goal that you have set. If you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be? Sometimes it might sound like a completely different question, but the idea behind it is exactly the same. No one wants to talk about the less impressive parts of their skill set or personality, but never say you don't have any development areas, because such response immediately translates into lack of your ability to learn and to grow. Most hiring managers are interested in hearing how the candidates analyze their development areas, what they do to continue learning and to continue improving. This is the part of the interview when nobody wants to hear you selling yourself. In fact, it's completely the opposite. It's about showing how your career, even your life, has taught you lessons and pushed you to grow. These are 5 steps you should follow to prepare your honest and authentic response, which will hugely increase your chances of getting a job offer. Step 1. Analyze your development areas. Make a list of things you would like to improve, or the list of things you are already working on. The weakness should be something related to your professional competencies and skills. Answers like, I don't exercise, or I don't speak English or any other language well, would equal to saying nothing at all. And not saying anything is obviously not a good thing. Such answers would also show your lack of analytical skills. Step 2. Don't try to disguise a strength as a weakness. You will find videos and articles which advise you to turn a negative into positive by sharing a weakness that is actually a desirable quality in an employee. For example, I have really high standards when it comes to work. Or I work too hard and everyone says that I'm a workaholic. Or I'm a perfectionist. Every single interviewer, unless it's someone inexperienced, has heard something similar before. This approach will make them think that you are hiding something, and the interviewers might label you as someone not trustworthy. Be honest, but don't raise any red flags. Being honest is really important. But make sure you pick a weakness which is acceptable for the role you are interviewing for. Something which won't hinder your ability to do the job. Don't say you have trouble getting up in the morning, or that you are awful with numbers and you are applying for an accounting job, etc., etc. Step 4. Explain the measures you took to improve. This is probably the most important part when it comes to what are your greatest weaknesses question. First, you explain how you detected your weakness. But the second part of your answer is discussing how you have been actively working on it. The weakness needs to be something which you could improve through a personal effort. Step 5. Be prepared for the follow-up questions, especially if your answer was vague or unconvincing. For example, how has this weakness affected you negatively? This follow-up question is perfect for a strength in disguise weakness. It shows how truthful your answer was. Or, can you share another weakness or another development area? This can of course be a follow-up question if the interviewer is skeptical about the weakness you mentioned as an answer. Some interviewers know that candidates usually prepare one weakness and they want to see what would candidate come up with on the spot. Follow these steps and you will be able to talk about your weaknesses in an honest but smart way. Keep it short and to the point. And if you practice your answer aloud many times, you'll come across much more confident and your response will make a stronger impact. And just as I promised, here are new sample answers which should be useful to you when working on your own response. Example number 1. I have always been quite independent at work and I enjoy being quick on the job. So it has always been difficult for me to ask for help when I needed it. I felt it would be seen as something negative. So I kept quiet and I could commit easily avoidable mistakes. Now I have learned that it is a huge benefit for me and for the business to reach out when I do not understand something or when I am overloaded with work. I now realize that there are many experts around me which have specific knowledge or skills that can improve the quality of my work with one simple advice. I'm still working on it, but I have been able to produce more high-quality work as a result of raising a hand and asking for help when necessary. Number 2. My greatest weakness is that I have trouble saying no. It happens to me in my personal life, but it has now more visible consequences professionally. I end up working on some random tasks and requests from my coworkers, which in the past led me to stress or burnout. To help myself improve in this area, I have now created a calendar, blocking out the times and scheduling tasks as they come. This helps me to prioritize, makes it easier for everyone to see how much workload I have on when I'm free and gives me backup to say no to certain extra tasks. Number 3. Public speaking is an area which I should still work on. I'm a shy and nervous person by nature. The result is that I have a difficult time speaking up in groups. Even if I have good ideas, I have trouble voicing them, and I tend to keep them to myself. Once I suggested an idea for a project. The project manager shut it down, and I didn't protest. The supervisor heard about my idea and found it upsetting that I didn't fight harder for it. I decided to take a small step of promising myself that I would speak up in front of small groups. Then I worked up to taking a public speaking class, which made a big difference and helped me a lot. Now, even though I get nervous, I feel like it doesn't hold me back as before. Recently, I gave a speech at a conference. I was still shaking during my speech, but it went great, and I received really good feedback in the end. I have also made it a point to voice my ideas and opinions during meetings when I feel they are appropriate and will add value to the conversation. I plan on continuing to seek out opportunities to improve in this area. Thanks for watching. If you found this video useful, please thumb it up and share it with whoever you think it would be beneficial to. Don't forget to hit the subscribe and see you in my next video coming up.